For many K-pop stars, Coachella is another big dream stage besides the Grammys. If they get invited to perform at this music festival, that essentially means their career in the States is at the next level. But have you ever wondered why, among many talented groups in K-pop, so far only 4 groups have been invited to Coachella? Who are they? And why did they get such privilege? Let's find out with us right now. Number 1. ESPE. Despite being a rookie who just debuted for less than 2 years, ESPE still made it to Coachella, being the youngest K-pop act to perform at this music festival. And unfortunately, also the most controversial one. Even before their flight to California, accusations saying ESPE lacked talents, but still stubbornly used media play to polish the unripe reputation, have already spread all over the internet. While no one denied that ESPE has proven their huge influence with the mega hit Next Level, many netizens still believed ESPE wasn't competent and influential enough to perform at the main stage of Coachella. Especially since BLACKPINK was the very first K-pop girl group to perform at this festival, netizens have taken them as the standard and formed some solid criteria for other groups to check. That's why, after ESPE was officially announced to be at Coachella, many heated discussions were ignited. Because, based on netizens' standards, from the live singing capabilities to the stage presence, ESPE is believed to fall short of everything. However, because the ticket for ESPE at Coachella was fixed, some immediately moved on to accuse SM Entertainment of using their power and buy backdoor tickets for the girls. However, the most annoying thing ticking off netizens was still how SM Entertainment blatantly called ESPE the first K-pop girl group to perform at the main stage of Coachella, indirectly downgrading the fact that BLACKPINK was the pioneer of all girl groups. And 21 also made headlines on the Rolling Stone for the reunion on the main stage 3 days prior. As the outrage grew bigger, netizens also dug deeper to find out evidence helping prove the media play of SM. As you can expect, with the detective nature embedded in the DNA, it didn't take them long to find out that ESPE wasn't invited by the organizers of Coachella, but were invited by another guest of the festival, 88 Rising. On the announcement letter, ESPE's name was even sorted after Rico Nasty, a C-ranked American artist with about 598,000 subscribers on YouTube. And on the official poster of Coachella, ESPE's name was nowhere to be seen in the lineup for April 24th. That's why many netizens immediately criticized SM for literally clowning their own artists, who have no idea about all these tricks, and being so in their head. The criticism quickly moved to the alleged lacking capabilities of ESPE, saying that the girls didn't work hard to polish their skills enough despite the heavy investment of SM. As many also set BLACKPINK as the standard for girl groups performing at Coachella, lots of criticism was thrown at ESPE regarding their performances. Dancing-wise, ESPE is believed to lack even more energy than usual, because, different from other times, they had to split the effort between live singing and dancing. Their dance moves were said to be too gentle and incapable of rocking the stage like BLACKPINK's. Besides, their vocals were also said to be way off the par, because there are lots of moments where the girls sing off-pitch for being unable to catch up with their own song. Stage presence-wise, ESPE also fell short of netizens' expectations, as, according to them, while the girls could have been okay with the soulless robotic stage presence when performing on domestic stages, the fact that they kept the same energy to perform in front of the Western audience, especially at one of the biggest music festivals in the world, was also another huge minus point. The members' costumes were also said to be copied versions of BLACKPINK's, because 3 out of 4 members wore black, and only 1 wore white. Plus, the gemstones form and patterns all bore great similarities to BLACKPINK's outfits. As ESPE has been embroiled in various copycat scandals in the past, and the Coachella stage was another reason consolidating the belief of netizens, some said that ESPE would have been better off had the group's core stopped chasing BLACKPINK's style and dressed them in the AI-inspired costumes of the initial eras instead. However, there were also defending opinions, saying that ESPE was quite stable throughout their performance, despite having to focus on the strong choreography. Not only that, people also seem to forget how ESPE had performed 5 songs in a row, despite being a rookie. The fact that they lost a bit of energy toward the end of the performance should have never been that big of a deal. Number 2. 21. Suddenly appearing at Coachella as a whole group, 21 had taken not only the stage that night, but also the internet by storm, because of the iconic reunion after over 7 years. Also, because 21 was a special guest, and that meant their appearance would be kept secret until the very last minute, no one was prepared for their legendary union with I Am the Best, which apparently made the whole thing even more legendary than their surprise reunion at Mama 2015. Similar to ESPE, 21 was invited by 88 Rising, rather than by the organization board of Coachella, But very different from ESPE, their performance made headlines everywhere, from the Rolling Stone, the Korean Herald, to even Billboard. In fact, many had already heard on the grapevine that 21 would appear at Coachella 2022, because several days prior to the show, 88 Rising added CL to their Head in the Cloud showcase, suddenly edited 21 into the post 2 minutes later, and then edited the group out once again. To be honest, since some blackjacks recalled that Dara once hinted at a no-hope scenario for the group's union, saying she would need to release a solo album first before doing any events or performances, CL only had 15 minutes for her stage. And since 88 Rising also ended up deleting the whole tweet, no one actually hoped for anything. However, the most surprising thing about 21's reunion didn't stop there, because according to an exclusive sit-down with CL, Billboard reported that the whole performance was pretty much a last-minute thing, especially as there was one moment where CL was asked, "When you're one of the artists in a set with a partner like 88 Rising, is a big guest appearance like this something you need to get approved?" And she replied that the founder and CEO of 88 Rising was very supportive and flexible. Many had even more reasons to believe CL should have been the only one to perform, but then she changed her mind and got other members on board. Still, as every high has to come down, CL seemingly also signaled that this was the very last performance of 21 as an OT4, because when being asked, "Is more coming from 21?" she just wisely avoided the direct answer. Then, on her Instagram, CL also wrote that, "I wanted to gather them with my own strength and power before it's too late," consolidating the gloomy prospect about another reunion of the group. Number 3. BLACKPINK. Speaking of Coachella, apparently no one can miss out on BLACKPINK, because they're the very first K-pop girl group to honorably perform at this world-class festival. In fact, their influences at that time were so big that the founder of Coachella, Paul Tollett, reportedly traveled to South Korea 1 year before to personally invite BLACKPINK to participate in the 2019 festival. Maybe you won't notice, but this rumor means Tollett had already seen the power BLACKPINK held, even before the mega hit "Do Do 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 Do," making the name of them, was released. As soon as their appearance was confirmed by the organizers, it literally took 1 second for all domestic and international outlets to write about how BLACKPINK once again proved why they were the revolution of K-pop. Though the girls only performed at the side stage of Sahara Tent, Coachella let them perform for about half an hour straight, and even set up 2 nights for their performances. Actually, their stage wasn't even a side one, because at Coachella 2019, lots of famous artists were also performing there throughout the day, and the main one at Sahara Tent was for headliners. After that historic performance, every time someone mentions Coachella, K-pop fans just immediately think of BLACKPINK. A fun fact is, though having been on hiatus for quite some time, when Coachella 2022 ended, Jennie just casually became the most mentioned K-pop artist despite not being a performer. That is to say, the broad reputation of BLACKPINK is really no joke. Number 4. Epic High. Surprisingly, the history of K-pop groups performing at Coachella didn't begin with BLACKPINK, because back in 2016, Epic High was the very first big influence Korean act to be invited to the festival. In South Korea, they were also known as the most famous hip-hop group. Thanks to the earworm music, their songs have always entered domestic charts at top ranks, though that might be the time where other big idol groups were also promoting. Gradually, their addictive music broke the boundary and garnered tons of attention in the States, which eventually also got them the attention of Coachella's organizers, followed by a ticket to perform here in 2016. For the overwhelmingly good reactions from the audience, and the impressive capabilities to hype up the festival atmosphere, Epic High was then invited once again in 2020. Unfortunately, this plan was cancelled due to the terrible condition of COVID-19. And so, in 2022, the Coachella invitation was sent to them for the 3rd time, making Epic High the very first act from South Korea to be invited back to this world-class festival. So, are you proud of what the K-pop industry has made so far? Why do you think Coachella is such a big deal with K-pop acts? And why, out of the 4 K-pop groups that performed at this music festival, was only ESPE criticized? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching.